Well, if you've been fired because of a disability but are having a hard time proving it, a recent court case may work in your favor. Here to explain is attorney Jim Higgins from the Higgins Firm. Jim, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about this case that we just mentioned. Tell us a little bit more about it that's going to give people an ability to assert their rights under an ADA.
Yeah, well, the federal courts in Tennessee and a few other cases have kind of been lagging behind, I think, in this area. It used to be in Tennessee, if I had a client who had a disability and was terminated, I had to prove that that was the sole reason for the termination. So what would happen a lot of times in these cases is an employer would come in and they say, yeah, you know, we did fire them because they are in a wheelchair, but we also would have fired them anyway because they have a poor attitude or because they were coming in late and those things. And it made it really difficult to prevail on those cases, and it made it really easy for employers who were breaking the law to kind of get out of it. And what this case has done is it's changed that, and it said, okay, you know what, that's heading in the wrong direction, and they cleaned it up some, and they said what you have to prove now is simply that the disability was a motivating factor behind the termination. And that's one of those kind of nerdy lawyer things that doesn't sound like a big difference in the wording, but it is. It really opens the door for a lot of people that this law is meant to protect.
Right. Now, how many of these do you see? Is this typical? How many cases do you see?
You know, we do, I mean, we see a good bit because we do that. We do a lot of employment law cases, and kind of what we typically see is I will have an employee that will work at a place for a number of years, and usually it's something that's happened. It's not generally somebody who gets hired and they're already disabled. It's usually someone who's been working there, they've been there for 10 years, and all of a sudden they have say a hip problem where they're having to use a walker and they're a little bit slower, or a pregnancy complication. And that it's something that can have, or an employer sees it as having an impact on his job, and those are the typical cases that we see. And also, you know, we do so many work comp cases. A lot of times what will happen is I'll have an employee that will get hurt at work, they'll have some restrictions after that, and the employer will say, well, we just can't have you with those restrictions. Those are the typical kind of ADA cases that we see in our office.
Right, okay. Now, for folks out there who have been terminated because of a disability, what should they do?
Well, you know, it's always, they're welcome to call our office. That's one thing to do, and we can always discuss it with them and tell them, and I don't mind talking to people, we enjoy doing that on the phone or whatever, and tell them what their rights are, or if they're worried about something happening, the way they can document it, protect their themselves by, you know, sending emails, confirming it. You know, what we usually do in these cases, if it does turn out to be an ADA case, the way we generally prevail on them is you show a pattern. And what I'll usually see is I'll have somebody that will work at a place, and for 9 years they're getting rave reviews and good employee and here's your bonus and thank you so much.
All good things.
All good things. And then this disability comes up, and then all of a sudden that changes. And all of a sudden the reviews get bad. Wow. And their hours get changed to make their job harder. And it's really that circumstantial evidence, that different treatment that we see more than anything. So it's kind of a combination of those as to way to put those cases together.
So you can really help them through that. Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you.
Hey, the Higgins Firm is serving Tennessee. Give them a call at 615-353-0930. Again, that's 353-0930. Or for more information and a link to their website, higginsfirm.com, go to the More Midday section of WSMV.com.